Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our 5th and 12th grade spring band concert. We're so excited to have you here with us. We've got 4 ensembles performing for you this evening, and it's going to go up through the grade level. So we're going to start with our 5th grade band classes. 5th grade band classes here are exploratory classes where every 5th grader gets the chance to learn an instrument. It's a great opportunity for them to explore making music in a band setting. It's a great opportunity to build some learning skills through learning an instrument. So we have a great time in band class, and we're going to work on playing. We've been working on playing these songs for you this evening. We're going to start with Lightning Row, and we're going to feature all of our instruments together, and then we're going to play a Mozart melody, which you'll recognize as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but we'll feature our different sections in that song. So our first 2 songs. Lightning Row and a Mozart melody. 5th grade band. Thank you very much. That was a Mozart melody. We're going to continue with an American folk song called Skip to My Lute. This will be another section feature where we hear each of the different instruments on their own, and then one time do it again. Skip to My Lute. All right, we have one more song for you this evening from our 5th grade band. This is one of our beginner band favorites that we like to do at each concert. This is the Hard Rock Blues. We're going to play it 2 times through for you with everybody together. Right now, we're going to switch over to our 6th grade band. Please stay with us as we make this transition. It'll take us just a minute, and we'll be back to the music. Okay, this is our 6th grade band. We have 4 songs to perform for you this evening. We're going to start with a samba that's a piece called Carnival. Don't know if you noticed in the percussion section back there, we had a brand spanking new instrument we got to play this for this concert. Hayden, can you hold that instrument up real quick back there you were playing? She got to play the frying pan. It was awesome. All right. I thought I'd point that out. It's kind of fun. Sometimes percussion gets to play odd, different things to make new sounds, and that was one of them that they got to do. We're going to continue with a piece called Cardiff Castle. Thank you very much. That was Cardiff Castle. We're going to continue with a piece called Taiko, which is loosely based around the Japanese setting. It features lots of drums, lots of flutes. We hope you enjoy it. Taiko. Thank you very much. This has been such a great group of kids to work with. They've worked really hard in class, exploring a lot of musical ideas. Sometimes I don't get to until 7th and 8th grade. They've just worked really hard and really pushed the envelope here with our beginner band class. So I'm really looking forward to what these kids do as they come up through the band program. Please continue to encourage them to keep playing their instruments and being part of the band program. They're doing such a great job. They have a lot of potential coming into the future, and I'm looking forward to seeing that through their high school years too. We're going to conclude our portion of the concert with one more piece. This is a Beach Boys tune called Barbara Ann. our 7th and 8th grade band. We have 3 songs to play for you this evening. We will begin with a piece called Gettysburg. Gettysburg is a patrol march, so it's supposed to sound like the band is marching down the street in a parade and gets closer to you, and then they're right in front of you, and then they taper off towards the end. So, patrol march and Gettysburg. Fitting, as our 8th graders just got back from their Washington, D.C. trip on Saturday, correct? So they are some tired kids today, turning right into a concert. And then we are going to continue after that with selections from Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship. I'm really proud of the students on this one. That last piece was a particular challenge for us. They really worked hard on that piece, and there's a lot of new material, a lot of range building in that piece. It really worked, and they rose to the occasion. We're going to conclude our section of the concert with a piece called Legend of the Demons. Thank you very much. We're going to continue with a beautiful composition by Frank Erickson called Air for Me. Before we play our next song, I'd like to say a few words of thanks, first of all, to the staff and administration here at the school for supporting our music programs, allowing us to rehearse with kids when we need to rehearse with them, allowing us to teach music here on a daily basis. It is a blessing to be able to share music with these kids every single day, and I count myself lucky to be able to do that. Thank you, parents, for supporting your students and your children in learning music, and please keep encouraging them to learn an instrument and stay part of our band program as they go through their middle school and high school years. We're trying to build something great here, and we are well on our way. We need to keep them coming, okay? So please help us out with that. We appreciate that. Keep encouraging the great things they're doing, the hard work they're doing. I would also like to thank you students behind me and over here. They have all put a lot of work this semester into this concert. Let's give them a round of applause. I know you have been all night. I'd like to say a word of thanks to our seniors this evening. Would you guys stand up real quick, please? Two of them are already standing in the back. These guys have put a lot of practice and effort and time into our band program through their high school career. We're very thankful for everything they've done to encourage younger students as they came up through the middle school and high school band program, for everything they've done to be leaders in our program, especially this year. They have been wonderful leaders as section leaders and as drum majors. What a great group of kids. We are certainly going to miss them, but we wish them the best of luck as they graduate from here at Hicksville and move on to bigger things. So we are certainly fortunate they have graced us by being part of our band program. Thank you, seniors. Each year we have a senior award that we give out for our band program. It's called the John Philip Sousa Award, aptly named for the composer and leader of the first president's own United States Marine Band. Each year since 1954, this award has been given to thousands of outstanding high school band students across the country for securing musicianship, leadership, dependability, and loyalty to the program. The Sousa Award is among the most prestigious awards for high school band students. John Philip Sousa was not only a renowned composer and band leader, he was also a strong supporter of school music programs. He appeared as a guest conductor of school bands through the United States and adjudicated numerous youth band festivals. Sousa is a pillar of American music, and his music inspires those who hear and perform it. At the award's origination, Sousa's daughters issued this statement. The award is a continuance of a tradition, interest in young people and in school and music that was very close to the heart of our father. We feel that the award is a wonderful goal, the acquisition of which will be a project in which the student may expand his or her energies in a most praiseworthy manner. All of our seniors this year displayed qualities of leadership and characteristics of leadership and musicianship and dedication. However, the National Association for the John Philip Sousa Award limits each school to one person per school. This year, it was incredibly difficult to select this student because these were, like I said, a wonderful group of kids to work with. Considering all of those qualities, this year, our John Philip Sousa Award winner is Jared Castillo. We have two more pieces to perform for you this evening. We're going to, our next piece is going to be a march called Darklands March, and then we're going to conclude with a Glenn Miller tune called In the Mood. very much. A couple more words of thanks before we conclude our concert. I'd also like to say a word of thanks to Miss Kristen Wendell. She's helping me out tonight, and she was helping me with supervising kids as we were coming in and checking kids in and telling where to go. She's been sitting over there with them this evening. So let's thank Mrs. Wendell for her help this evening. She told me not to do this, but I'm also going to thank Mrs. Guilford, Marilyn Guilford this evening. She spent one day every week she came in, and we had a split class with percussion and flutes. And every week she came in and helped out with our flute class, volunteering her time here at school to help these student musicians. And we really appreciate it. So Mrs. Guilford, thank you so much for your help this evening. We're going to conclude with a swing tune from Glenmore called In the Mood. One more housekeeping note. After our final piece here, we're going to dismiss the band students first so that they can go back to the band room and start getting their stuff put away. And then we'll dismiss the audience to the commons. So if we could let the band students go by first, and then you guys can meet them either in here or out in the commons. I have asked that if they have a few minutes to spare, if they could help me stack equipment after the concert. That would be a really big help in saving some time this evening. So I'd appreciate that. In the mood, for real this time. hope you guys have a great rest of the school year here, and make sure you come back tomorrow night and hear our choir concert. It's going to be a good one as well. Thank you very much. We'll dismiss the band, and then as soon as the band is out, you guys can join the comments and leave our students up there.
Ciao.